Hello everyone, I am Professor Zahoor, ex-Dean Faculty of Fine Arts, Jamia Millia Islamia University, New Delhi. In this demonstration, I am going to show you a few techniques of watercolors, basic techniques. Choose a particular scene you want to paint. Frame it mentally as if you are looking at a confined area from a window or a frame. Just make a rough sketch of the objects available. The pencil needs to be used very softly because watercolors are a transparent medium, and if one used a dark pencil, then it can smudge with the colors and make them dirty, or the pencil marks would be visible from underneath the painted layers. Without taking out any details, just decide the placement of buildings, hut, wall, and trees. One can just give an outline of the area which trees are occupying, as taking out or drawing leaf by leaf is impossible. Mix yellow ochre color with water in palette and apply it on the paper to create a middle tone. Give a few touches of lemon yellow to add lightest color tone in the trees and the bushes. Cover the foliage with these two tones initially, leaving the buildings uncovered. The more spontaneous the brush strokes are, the more playful effect the painting will reflect. The haywire strokes will depict the wildness of the nature, the flow of the wind, and the movement of the trees. After the random filling of the space with tones of yellow to reflect the trees, add a light blue touch to the sky. Start darkening the trees with the tone of dark green and darker patches wherever you can see the darkness. It is a gradual process in which each layer leaves its tone and act as a base for an upper layer. It's an enchanting play of transparencies and an undercoat getting intermingled with an overcoat. It all depends on an artist, his technique, his vision, and his imagination, where he wants to lead his painting. George Seurat rightly said, originality is going to lead, depends only on a character of the drawing and the vision peculiar to each artist. The watercolor unfolds the quality of immediacy, spontaneity, and sparkle. And it all depends on an artist how he keeps on applying his strokes and search new forms with every depth. With every color, the mood and atmosphere of the painting can be changed. Like Don Archibald says, my paintings evolves originally from life's everyday glances. Rather than trying to force my will on them, I give them total control. Each layer determines and guides the next. Now is the time to add a few strokes of crimson behind the hut to create a depth and using burnt sienna to shape the building peeping in from the foliage. Each line and patch of color will create its own story. Even in foundation, it's very important to observe the details as the only will help an artist to subdue some areas, eliminate a few unwanted details, and highlight the desired areas, something close to reality and something other than reality. Sanino Senini says this is an occupation known as painting, which calls for imagination and skill of the hand in order to discover things not seen, hiding themselves under the shadow of natural objects, and to fix them with the hands, presenting to plain sight what does not actually exist. The thin line next to the hut's roof will create another dimension, and a light spread of mauve reflects the shadow. Gradually, with the play of silhouettes or chiaroscuro, the two-dimensional surface will be converted to a three-dimensional one. Paint the shade arches of the hut. The light area gets highlighted when darkness is placed next to it. A dark patch of trees behind the hut will similarly push it forward visually and make it stand out. Claude Monet, who was an impressionist and an expert in painting the scenes in his own unique style, said, when you go out to paint, try to forget what object you have before you, a tree, a house, a field, or whatever. Merely think, here is a little square of blue, here an oblong of pink, here and streak of yellow, and paint it just as it looks to you, the exact color and shape, until it emerges as your own naive impression of the scene before you. Similarly, in this watercolor painting, also, one can just see the bold patches indicating the object. Without much of a detail being aware of the worldly things. One can just guess the object depicted in the painting. Just a solid shape and bold patches of colors are visible. The things visible at the present might gradually completely vanish in the overpainting. What will come up will be the abstraction highlighting certain areas, which will further support the whole scenario. A thick line next to the building is indicating a tree trunk, and a few dark brown patches on the building block help in bringing out the depth. zooming out to see the actual scene which is being painted, and zooming in clearly shows the bold representation of a real landscape. As if seen from the blurred eyes. Keep on making the foliage dark, as then only a heaviness and tense quality will be reflected. From close by, one may feel that the painting is just full of rough patches. But try moving away and observing it from a distance. One can easily make out the beauty reflected even without details. The rough strokes, dabs, and the flowing colors add to the textural quality of the paper and tells the path which the artist took to reach the darkness in the painting. Peter Stam also said, but even you paint them, you have to be indifferent to them. You said it in jest, but it's true. You work out of a passionate indifference. The process of overpainting is never ending. It all depends on the artist's satisfaction and vision. He can keep on darkening certain areas to create a perspective, the practice and experience teaches an artist which stroke might give a particular desired effect. Which places to keep rough and which smooth, which blurred and which detailed. Apply a darker tone in the arcs of the hut and a few lines behind it to abstractly indicate the division. In watercolors, we don't use white color. The area of paper is left bare to use it as white background. Even in hurt being painted, just the shadows are being created with grey over the whiteness of the paper, implying the white colored hurt. There comes a stage when an artist actually forgets what he's looking at and painting. He gets totally engrossed in his painting and tries to bring out the best in it. Darby Bernard quote perfectly fits an artist's mindset. When you are painting a landscape, assume the painting is real and landscape is an illusion. Each stroke of brush takes to in the infinite space of imagination, virtuosity and mystery. Where an artist is trying to find and explore his spiritual dimensions. That's the reason an artist doesn't get tired of applying tones and variations in his paintings. This experimental approach helps in the reconstruction of the representation. One can see a theme from nature, and yet it seems there's nothing of it in it. It's an image of inner world of an artist. The enhancement of the darker area are pulling the vision in the depth of the dense forest and is reminding me of Yves Klein who quoted on his painting blue. I had left the visible, physical blue at the door outside in the street. The real blue was inside, the blue of the profundity of space, the blue of my kingdom, of our kingdom. The immaterialization of blue, the colored space that cannot be seen but which we impregnate ourselves with. One needs to dissolve oneself totally in the world of sensation of the environment to bring it out in a coherent painterly structure. The application of dark patches over the building stimulates the imaginative skills and pulls the eye in the world of shadows and emphasizes the play of source of light in nature. The burnt sienna is looking so earthy and is getting cocooned in the thickness of greenery. Turning the transparent quality of watercolors to an opaque one. A little color mixed with white is being used to highlight the lighter areas of the building and the wall. Bold patches of white indicates the sharpness and purity of the light falling on the object. Now add final touches by applying the darkest tone to the brick building and also to the bushes and trees behind the wall. In this layer by layer construction, an artist can explore numerous tones of a color and its effects in collaboration with the other shades. Artist's imagination forces him to keep on daubing colors and various places till his soul is satisfied. He starts looking at the painting he is making with his mind's eye and lets the painting come through with a life of its own. Like Jeff Koons says, if I try to articulate every little detail in drawing, it would be like missing the forest for the trees. So it's just about getting the outline of the forest. The visible patches on the surface of paper pulls the eyes of the spectator and scene represented and assume the elements like light, depth, perspective, motion and rhythm. In the end, again one can use the same frame to look at scene which one has chosen to paint and try to catch the closeness and resemblance when mixed with imaginative skill.